Darth Vader. For over 20 years after the fall of the Republic, he was the Emperor's wrath made manifest. A relentless enforcer who extinguished the last embers of the Jedi Order. The belief that he was unbeatable became a core truth of his era. An examination of the Jedi Order's vast history, however, spanning both the current canon and the deeper lore of legends, reveals a select few who possess the power, the skill, or the specific insight needed to stand against the Dark Lord and emerge victorious. This analysis will document a carefully considered list of those individuals, from the masters who had already proven their ability to defeat him to the legendary warriors of past ages. These are the chosen few who held a clear path to striking down the Dark Lord. Number 1, Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Master of Defeat. It is only fitting that this examination begins with the man who knew Anakin Skywalker best and who was tragically forced to defeat him. Not once, but twice. The first and most devastating of these confrontations was their duel on Mustafar. Anakin, freshly christened as Darth Vader, fought with the full, unbridled rage of the dark side. His power was immense, a raw, untamed force. But Obi-Wan, with a heavy heart, held to his discipline. He did not overpower Anakin. He outthought him, leveraging his former apprentice's arrogance and fury against him. This led to the fateful moment on the lava bank, where he left Anakin broken and burning. Their final confrontation would not occur for another decade, during the events of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Here, the dynamic had shifted. Vader, now fully encased in his iconic armor, was a terrifying engine of destruction who hunted his former master relentlessly. In their initial encounter, he dominated a broken, disconnected Kenobi. But when Obi-Wan reconnected with the Force, drawing strength from his purpose to protect the Skywalker children, the tables turned dramatically. In their final battle, Obi-Wan not only held his own, but decisively defeated the suited Vader, cracking his helmet to reveal the scarred face of the man he once called brother. He proved that even a focused, powerful Vader could be beaten through superior strategy and a centered mind. Their final meeting on the Death Star was not a duel, but a sacrifice. The fact remains, however, Obi-Wan Kenobi is the only Force user in canon to have definitively defeated Anakin Skywalker before his entombment in the suit, and then defeated the armored Darth Vader in a separate full-blown lightsaber duel. Number 2, Luke Skywalker, The New Hope. From the Master to the Son, Luke Skywalker's journey culminates in a confrontation that decided the fate of the galaxy. In Return of the Jedi, Luke faces his father not as an enemy to be destroyed, but as a soul to be saved. This distinction is crucial. Throughout their duel, Luke is holding back, pleading with the good man still inside the machine. It is only when Vader, goaded by the Emperor, pushes Luke to his breaking point by threatening Leia that Luke unleashes his full potential. In that moment, Luke's fury-fueled assault is overwhelming. He drives Vader back, hammering his defenses with a speed and ferocity that the lumbering Sith Lord cannot match. He beats his father into submission, severing his mechanical hand in a mirror of Anakin's own past. This is a clear victory in combat against a conflicted but still formidable Vader. Luke's true victory, however, comes in the moments that follow. He casts his lightsaber aside, refusing to kill his father and fall to the dark side. He declares himself a Jedi, like my father before me. This act of defiance and compassion is what ultimately breaks the Emperor's hold and allows Anakin Skywalker to return, fulfilling the prophecy. It was an instinctive act, a son refusing to sever the bond with his father. He was not just winning a fight, he was acting his way back into saving the man, one decision at a time. Number 3, Yoda, the Grand Master. This matchup remains in the realm of theoretical debate, but based on the available evidence, there is little doubt that Grand Master Yoda, in his prime, possessed the tools to defeat Darth Vader. For centuries, Yoda was the pinnacle of Jedi wisdom and power. His duel with Darth Sidious in Revenge of the Sith showed him contending with the most powerful Sith Lord of the era. Though the confrontation ended with Sidious gaining the upper hand and forcing Yoda into retreat, it was a display of Force mastery that Vader, even at his peak, likely could not equal. Anakin Skywalker's potential was higher than Yoda's, but after his catastrophic injuries on Mustafar, that potential was forever capped. Vader's cybernetic suit, while providing immense strength and durability, was also a prison. It limited his mobility and made him critically vulnerable to Force lightning. Yoda, a master of the acrobatic form 4, Ataru, would have presented a tactical nightmare. His small size and incredible speed would have allowed him to dart around Vader's slower, more deliberate attacks. Vader's powerful gem-so style relies on overwhelming an opponent with brute force, a tactic that would likely prove ineffective against a master of absorption and redirection like Yoda. While Vader was a terrifying force, Yoda was a living embodiment of the Force itself. In a contest of pure skill, experience, and Force mastery, the Grand Master would almost certainly emerge victorious. Number 4. Mace Windu, the Shatterpoint. Mace Windu was, without question, one of the greatest lightsaber duelists the Jedi Order ever produced. He achieved what even Yoda could not. He forced Darth Sidious into a position of defeat during their duel in Revenge of the Sith, though the exact nature of that victory remains a subject of intense debate, with some sources suggesting Sidious may have feigned weakness. This feat alone places him in the highest tier of combatants. Windu was the creator and sole master of the 7th form of lightsaber combat, Vapad. This form was more than a sequence of moves. It was a state of mind. Legends sources described it as allowing the user to channel their own inner darkness and, more importantly, to absorb and redirect the aggressive, hate-fueled energy of a dark side opponent. Against Darth Vader, a being powered almost entirely by rage and self-loathing, the theoretical application of Vapad would be devastatingly effective. Vader's greatest strength, his immense dark side power, would become his greatest weakness. The more Vader gave in to his anger, the more power he would be feeding directly to his opponent. Furthermore, Windu possessed a rare Force ability known as Shatterpoint, allowing him to perceive the critical weaknesses, the fissures, in an opponent or a situation. Against Vader, a man literally held together by technology and haunted by psychological trauma, Windu would have a clear roadmap to victory. He would perceive the flaws in the armor, the weaknesses in the life support system, and the cracks in Anakin's tormented psyche. The duel would be difficult, but Windu's unique combination of skills gives him a clear path to victory. Number 5. Ahsoka Tano, the Apprentice. The duel between Ahsoka Tano and her former master on Malachor is one of the most emotionally charged moments in the canon. Ahsoka, no longer a formal Jedi, but a powerful warrior for the light, confronts the monster that Anakin Skywalker has become. What unfolds is a battle between two people who know each other intimately. Ahsoka, having been trained by Anakin, understands his fighting style better than almost anyone. She is faster, more agile, and throughout their duel, she consistently proves herself to be his peer in combat. She lands a significant blow, slicing open Vader's helmet and revealing the chilling yellow Sith eye beneath. In that moment, she hears his voice, a distorted mix of Anakin and Vader. The horrifying truth of his fall is laid bare. The duel is tragically cut short when Ezra Bridger pulls her into the world between worlds, saving her from the temple's explosion. The outcome was left ambiguous by design. The evidence, however, strongly suggests that Ahsoka was not intimidated by his power and had what it took to contend with him on equal terms, having physically wounded him in a way few others had. While a victory cannot be claimed, her performance demonstrated that she was a genuine threat to her fallen master. Number 6, Cere Junda, the Survivor's Will. Cere Junda's journey is one of trauma, recovery, and ultimately incredible courage. A Jedi Master who survived Order 66, Cere severed her connection to the Force out of fear of her own darkness. When pushed to protect those she cared for, she reclaimed her power with astounding results. Her final stand against Darth Vader in Jedi Survivor is a testament to her immense strength. Drawing on the Jedi archives she had safeguarded, Cere used a fighting style that blended multiple forms, making her unpredictable. But her true power came from her resolve. Faced with the embodiment of the Order's doom, she did not flinch. She fought Vader with a ferocity that stunned the Dark Lord, even managing to temporarily incapacitate him by collapsing the structure around them. In the end, Vader's relentless power was too much, and he tragically struck her down. However, Cere Junda pushed him to a degree that few other Jedi in the canon ever have. She wounded him and forced him to exert his full effort, proving that a Jedi Master, fully committed and centered in the light, could stand as a genuine threat to the Emperor's enforcer. Number 7, Rey Skywalker, the Dyad. This is perhaps the most speculative entry in the canon section, as any analysis is a theoretical what-if. Rey's raw power in the Force is, however, undeniable. As the granddaughter of Emperor Palpatine and one half of a Force Dyad, her innate potential was immense. She demonstrated mastery over complex Force abilities with little formal training, a feat that pointed to her profound, instinctual connection to the Force. A matchup against Vader would be a clash of raw potential versus decades of brutal experience. Vader's mastery of lightsaber combat and tactical genius would give him a significant advantage. However, Rey's greatest feat was defeating a resurrected Darth Sidious on Exegol. By channeling the power of all the Jedi who came before her, she was able to withstand and redirect his full, undiluted Force lightning, obliterating him. This was not a power she could call upon at will, but a unique confluence of events at a nexus of Force energy. If she were ever able to access that same state, the collective might of the entire Jedi lineage, it is conceivable she could achieve a similar outcome against Vader. It would be a difficult fight. Many would argue Vader's experience would win the day, but Rey's unprecedented power level makes her a contender who cannot be dismissed. Number 8. Grand Master Luke Skywalker, Legends. Here we venture into the realm of legends, where the power ceilings are significantly higher. If canon Luke Skywalker could defeat a conflicted Vader, the Legends version of Grand Master Luke Skywalker would dismantle him. Following Return of the Jedi, this Luke went on to rebuild the Jedi Order and face threats that made Vader look like a minor inconvenience. His mastery of the Force reached a level with few precedents. He could use the Force to render himself invisible, manipulate objects on a planetary scale, and create illusions powerful enough to deceive entire fleets. He mastered abilities from across the spectrum of the Force. His skill with a lightsaber became so profound that he was essentially untouchable. He could move faster than a normal eye could follow, and fought with a level of precision that was simply unmatched. Darth Vader, as powerful as he was a broken man in a restrictive suit, his potential forever limited. Grandmaster Luke was the Force unbound, the full potential of the Skywalker lineage realized. Within the scaling of the Legends framework, this would not be a contest. It would be a foregone conclusion. Number 9. Jaina Solo fell, the Sword of the Jedi. In the Legends continuity, Jaina Solo was the daughter of Han Solo and Leia Organa, making her the granddaughter of Anakin Skywalker. An ace pilot and a powerful Jedi Knight, her destiny was forged in the crucible of the Second Galactic Civil War, when her twin brother, Jacen Solo, fell to the dark side and became the Sith Lord, Darth Caedus. To face this threat, Jaina became the Sword of the Jedi, the Order's designated instrument to eliminate him. Her brother, Darth Caedus, was a Sith Lord whose cunning and power were considered by many to be comparable to, if not greater than, Darth Vader's. He was a master strategist who had learned esoteric Force techniques that Vader never knew. Yet, in their final, brutal confrontation, Jaina fought her brother to a standstill and ultimately killed him. She had to push herself to the absolute limit, embracing her own pain to find the strength to do what was necessary. Having defeated a Sith Lord of Sidious' caliber, who was in his prime and unburdened by a restrictive life support suit, it stands to reason that Jaina would have possessed the skill, power, and Skywalker grit to defeat her grandfather, Darth Vader. Number 2, Revan, the Prodigal Knight. Revan is one of the most complex figures in the Star Wars mythos. A Jedi who fell, became a Sith Lord, and was then redeemed, he holds a unique perspective on the Force that few can comprehend. His mastery of both the light and the dark gave him a tactical and philosophical flexibility that is nearly unmatched. A duel between Revan and Vader would be a fascinating clash of titans. Vader's primary advantages are his immense physical strength and raw power. However, Revan has the perfect toolkit to counter him. His greatest asset is his brilliant strategic mind, that forged in the Mandalorian Wars. More importantly, Revan was a master of Force powers that were a direct vulnerability for Vader. Most notably, Force lightning. Vader's cybernetics and life support system were notoriously susceptible to electrical charges. One well-placed blast of lightning could short-circuit his systems, leaving him crippled. Revan's mastery of multiple lightsaber forms, combined with his tactical genius and Vader's critical design flaw, gives him a clear and decisive path to victory. Number 11, Starkiller. Galen Marek, the secret apprentice. Raised from childhood to be Darth Vader's secret apprentice, Galen Marek, codenamed Starkiller, was a living conduit for the raw, untamed power of the Force. As depicted in the Force Unleashed storyline, his abilities were so explosive they bordered on the unbelievable, exemplified by the feat of telekinetically pulling a Star Destroyer from the sky. Starkiller's fighting style was a whirlwind of aggression and acrobatics, a stark contrast to Vader's heavy, methodical approach. As Vader's own apprentice, Starkiller knew his master's techniques intimately. In the light side ending of the first game, Starkiller confronts and defeats Vader on the Death Star. While Vader intended for this to be a final test, the defeat was legitimate within that storyline. His raw, untamed power, combined with his intimate knowledge of Vader's methods, makes him one of the very few individuals who not only could defeat Vader, but was specifically trained to do so. Number 12, Satele Shan, the Grand Master of the Old Republic. A descendant of the legendary Satele Shan and Revan, Satele Shan was a leading Jedi Master during the Great Galactic War, thousands of years before the Skywalker saga. She eventually rose to the rank of Grand Master and was renowned for her wisdom and immense power. She was a formidable warrior, capable of holding her own against the most powerful Sith of her era, such as Darth Malgus. One of her most relevant abilities was Tutamanis, or Force Absorption. She demonstrated the ability to absorb or deflect energy attacks, including the blade of a lightsaber, with her bare hands. This is a skill that would prove exceptionally useful against a purely offensive fighter like Vader. Satele possessed a deep connection to the Force, combined with the battle-hardened experience of a Jedi who fought in open warfare against a Sith Empire. Given her lineage, her proven combat record against powerful Sith, and her mastery of advanced Force techniques, Satele Shan possessed all the necessary tools to stand against Darth Vader and emerge victorious. Number 13, Kyle Katarn, the Battle Master. Kyle Katarn's story is one of the most beloved in the Legends continuity. He began as an Imperial stormtrooper, defected to the Rebellion, and eventually discovered his own powerful connection to the Force. Without formal training, he defeated several Dark Jedi. Eventually, he joined Luke Skywalker's New Jedi Order and rose to become its Battle Master. The head lightsaber instructor. As Battle Master, Kyle was a master of all 7 forms of lightsaber combat, a level of technical skill few ever achieved. But he was also a pragmatist, often carrying a blaster and using whatever tactics were necessary. He fought and survived an encounter with Jaina Solo during his fall to the dark side, a testament to his incredible skill. Kyle's unique background as a soldier gave him a tactical edge that many Jedi lacked. He wasn't just a duelist, he was a survivor and a warrior. This blend of unconventional tactics, mastery of lightsaber combat, and a powerful connection to the Force makes him a formidable opponent for anyone, including Darth Vader. This completes an analysis of Jedi from both canon and legends who held the capacity to defeat Darth Vader. From established masters to legendary heroes, each one possessed a unique key to victory. This subject, however, is a matter of endless study and debate. The names missing from this analysis and the arguments against those included are themselves worth consideration. Your own analysis is welcome. From the undeniable victories of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Luke Skywalker to the theoretical dominance of figures like Grand Master Luke and Revan, it is clear that while Darth Vader was one of the most powerful figures in galactic history, he was far from invincible. Whether through superior dueling skill, deeper wisdom, or the exploitation of his unique weaknesses, a select group of Jedi possessed the ability to stand against the darkness and win. Each of these warriors represents a different facet of the light, proving that true strength is not merely about rage and power, but also about discipline, strategy, and hope. Thank you for your time. May the Force be with you.